Hi, and welcome to 647. 6 stories for 7 a.m. because there's a famine of truth in our land, and this is your quick news fix. And the truth starts now. All right. Well, guess what? It was a slaughter, and the Dems are celebrating. And Trump is angry. And what are we going to do? Okay. It's going to usher in the season of insanity. So let's go. They're having their parties. We're going to have our own. All right. The government shutdown keeps snarling air travel. Officials say it could get worse. Let me explain to you what worse means. It means over the holiday season, Secretary Duffy, I love the guy. He's doing a great job. But what can you do if you got air traffic controllers who haven't been paid for 36 days, right? So they're going to cut 44,000 flights to 40 cities over the holiday season. You think that's going to affect folks? Oof. Oh, man. It's going to be bad. So the Federal Aviation Administration was forced to delay flights across the U.S. because of staffing shortages at dozens of air traffic control facilities, making for one of the most difficult days to fly since the government shutdown began 5 weeks ago. What you're seeing is a lot of people who are truly having to call in sick to go earn money elsewhere, said one traffic controller who works at a facility in the Midwest that handles high altitude traffic. I think you're also seeing people who are just calling in sick because they're fed up and they're like, well, I'm going to spend the holiday weekend with my kids for once. So look, it's Glide Slope Thursday, right? The prevailing winds are coming from the left, and insanity is in the air, and it's starting right here with the FAA. You got air traffic controllers moonlighting so they can pay their mortgages. That's what you want, right? Air traffic controllers who've got a second job, not getting enough sleep, tense, distracted. Oh, it's just magical. The government shutdown is taking a growing toll on air traffic controllers who are required to work without pay. Congress gets paid, right? These goofballs who get you in all these messes, but the air traffic controllers don't get paid. It's insane. This is the season of insanity, so get used to it. This reprobate mind thing, it's infecting the masses. It's everywhere. Okay? I told you about it. I told you it was going to spread. So here we go. Staffing shortages led to major delays over the weekend, raising concerns about more widespread travel chaos as the shutdown continues. NPR interviewed 4 current air traffic controllers this week who all asked not to use their names because they're afraid of retaliation from the FAA. What are they going to do? Fire them? They're not getting paid anyway. So they said morale was already low, even before the government shutdown, due to a long-standing staffing shortage across the system. Mandatory overtime and stagnating wages were other factors dampening morale, which has gotten even worse now the controllers are not being paid at all. Funny, you wouldn't think that. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy insists the U.S. air travel system is safe. That's a reach. And that the FAA will need to reroute and limit the number of planes in order to keep it that way. Limit the number of planes. Sean, he's got the political speak, doesn't he? He's not there going to say 44,000 flights over the holiday season to 40 main hubs. Oh, yeah. We will restrict the airspace when we feel it's not safe, Duffy said Tuesday, if we don't have enough controllers to effectively and safely manage our skies. That's a responsible guy. Duffy warned that the FAA may be forced to do a lot of that next week if the shutdown isn't resolved and the controllers miss another paycheck. You will see mass chaos. You will see mass flight delays. You will see mass cancellation. And you may see us close certain parts of the airspace. A lot of masses in there. Maybe you should all go to mass. All right. That's crazy. It's going to get crazier. Okay, let's see. Oh, no, I'm not done. There's more. He said, let's go back. Where is this? Parts of the airspace because we just cannot manage it because we don't have the air traffic controllers. I'm telling you. You remember the movie Airplane, right? With Peter Graves playing the pedo pilot. We're making our approach, folks. We're making our approach to the season of insanity. I'm going to say it over and over again because it's all through the stack. Arms is coming. It's coming all over the place. Some air traffic controllers say they've been able to get loans from their credit unions to cover their expenses for a few paychecks, while others have been forced to take on part-time jobs. Feeling comfortable? I work with people that are working a second job at night and are just calling in sick in the morning when they can't go to the job that doesn't pay them because they're too tired, said one controller who handles approaching and departing traffic at a major U.S. airport. Anybody say Newark? Who knows? The controller said they haven't taken on a second job yet, but know a colleague who is already moonlighting in private security. You know, I'm going to join that guy here next week if things don't pan out, the controller said, just so that they can pay the mortgage. The longer the shutdown goes on, the more controllers may be forced to make these difficult decisions. You're going to have some difficult decisions. You want to fly somewhere over the holidays? You got to hold off on that decision if you're smart. And these politicians, they don't care. You know what? Cut off their paychecks and give it to the FAA guys. Trump, you should listen to this. There's good stuff for you here. Cut off Congress's pay and give it to the air traffic control people. Merry Christmas and happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa. All right, take two. President Donald Trump on Wednesday attacked New York City Mayor-elect Zohran Mamdani in a boastful speech, doubling down on his policy agenda after Democrats won a slew of key elections across the country. If you want to see what congressional Democrats wish to do to America, just look at the result of yesterday's election in New York, where the party installed a communist as the mayor of the largest city in the nation, Trump said during the speech in Miami. Mamdani is a self-described democratic socialist. He's self-described more than that, folks. You'll be wishing he's just a democratic socialist who has rejected frequent accusations from Trump and other Republicans that he is a communist. The Democratic nominee on Tuesday night trounced his main opponent, former New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, who had been endorsed by Trump. Trump told the Miami crowd on Wednesday afternoon, "We lost a little bit of sovereignty last night in New York," and then, spoken like a true Don, "but we'll take care of it. You know, don't worry about it. We're going to take care of this." Near the end of the speech, Trump said he may try to work with Mamdani, though he has previously threatened to cut funding to New York City if its voters elected the Democrat. I'm telling you, Trump, he's going to go Sopranos on this guy. Don't worry about it. We're gonna take care of it. We're gonna take care of this guy Mamdani. We'll work with him. That's what we'll do. We'll work with him. What do you say? Now let's see how a communist does in New York. We're going to see how that works out. We'll help him. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to help him. We want New York to be successful. We'll help him a little bit, maybe. He's going full down on this guy. Yeah, don't worry about it. We're going to help him. We'll be there. Yeah, we know what we're doing. Do you? Man, let's see what happens. It's all going to be crazy. And it's, you know what? I told my best friend in New York City 4 months ago, Mamdani's in, it's done. It's a locked deal. You don't know that. Right. I'm the crazy tin hat guy, right? How can you say that? You don't know that. I know it, right? What's the old guy t-shirt say? I know stuff. No, I fix stuff and I know things. No, that's what I do. I fix stuff and I know things, right? And I know the season of insanity has arrived. You want more proof? Here we go. Take 3. Return to Exodus. The FDNY Commission. Oh, man. I told her you better get out of there while you can. No, you don't know. You don't know. Okay, now we're going to see who knows. FDNY commissioner hands in resignation less than 12 hours after Mamdani wins. Other top officials expected to follow suit. FDNY commissioner, I'm out of here, right? I'm telling you, there's going to be a Muslim fire commissioner. It's coming. Mamdani, he got no reason not to do it. And these boys love fire. How is that going to work out? New York, right? Oh, man, is this going to get crazy. FDNY Commissioner Robert Tucker handed in his resignation on Wednesday, less than 12 hours after Democrat socialist Zoran the Magnificent Mamdani was announced the winner of New York City's mayoral election. Yay! The fire chief tendered his resignation the morning after anti-Israel Zoran Mamdani was declared the mayor-elect of New York City, according to the report by the New York Daily Lefty News. On Wednesday morning, Tucker informed New York City Mayor Eric Adams that December 19th will be his last day as FDNY commissioner, according to an email obtained by the newspaper. Between now and then, I will continue to lead the greatest fire department in the world and will ensure an orderly transition. You certainly will not, because Zoran is going to step in. Oh, you want to leave? Guess what? I got somebody in mind to be the fire commissioner. And then see what happens to the rank and file. Oh, Lordy. This is going to be something, right? I'm sorry, folks. Your mezuzahs can't save you now, reprobates. I feel like Moses, right? Staring down into the valley saying, hold up my arms. Don't let it stop. Don't let the insanity stop. That's right. God says he's going to do that. While Tucker's reason for resigning were not immediately made clear, an FDNY source told New York Daily News that the fire chief, a Jewish philanthropist and businessman, felt he wouldn't mesh well with the incoming mayor and his team. Who is going to mesh well? We're going to find out. Mamdani, a self-proclaimed socialist, keep saying it, has repeatedly refused. I think it's wishful thinking. We're hoping he's just a self-proclaimed socialist. Repeatedly refused to say that the terrorist group Hamas should lay down its arms, will be sworn in as New York City's new mayor on January 1, 2026. All right. Look, all I can do is offer you a little Kentucky wisdom here, brothers and sisters in Manhattan. I told you it's going to be renamed Mecca West, and y'all better put some blood on the doorposts. Might be time to get some religion. I'm just saying. All right. Take 4. Man, here's somebody who's all over this air traffic control thing already. Let's copy Canada's air traffic control system. Rachel Gressler. What's a nice Jewish girl like you, Rachel, doing at the Heritage Foundation? Your parents must be going, what did we do wrong? She's around all those Republicans. So, but Rachel, man, she's laying it down, not holding back. The shutdown-induced mess at U.S. airports demonstrates yet another consequence of leaving our skies in the hands of a politically driven, budget-dependent, and inefficient government bureaucracy. The most recent bout of massive flight delays and cancellations is the result of the government shutdown, which has caused an indefinite delay in paychecks of government employees, but not the fat butts on Capitol Hill. Delay in paychecks of government-employed air traffic controllers, prompting many of them to decide not to show up to work. Can you imagine not showing up to a job where you don't get paid? I can. All right, but even before that, America's antiquated air traffic control systems were costing Americans thousands of years of lost time due to flight delays and cancellations. Those ordinary delays and cancellations amount to billions of dollars in costs annually. Well, that's what government does, right? We're from the government. We want to help. We're going to create all this loss, but guess what? We're going to stuff our pockets while it's happening. On top of that, inefficiencies limit the supply of flights, resulting in higher overall prices. It's government, Rachel. Meanwhile, failing U.S. air traffic control infrastructure is causing communication outages, risking passenger safety. It doesn't have to be this way. She's 100% right. Most other industrialized countries have lower cost, more efficient air traffic control systems that are insulated from government spending battles. That's because they are commercialized instead of bureaucratized. Bureaucratized equal F up, and commercialized means we're going to be watching you. And we're going to punish you if you do things wrong, if you do them inefficiently, if you take too much money out and don't provide a quality product. That's how markets are supposed to work, but not with politicians. So they got to be out of it. Take Canada, for example. It commercialized, take Canada, just take it. But here, they're doing something better than us. It makes me ashamed. Canada commercialized its air traffic control system in 1996 and now has far more advanced capabilities with just 2/3 the cost of the U.S. Similarly, Switzerland and Canada are kicking our butts on this thing. Commercialized SkyGuide air traffic control system boasts 95% on-time flights as compared to only about 75% in the U.S. system till Madame Mamdani Christmas season, right? In an open letter to the Department of Government Efficiency, transportation expert Robert Poole described U.S. air traffic control as a would-be high-tech service business trapped in a cautious bureaucracy. A cautious bureaucracy? This clown show that we're watching for 36 days is a cautious bureaucracy. It's a bureaucracy that doesn't give a damn about its people. It's pitchforks and torches time, folks. They don't give a damn. He explained that the air traffic control and the Federal Aviation Administration reliance on annual funding means that new systems get produced in small batches over a decade or more, with the last recipients not getting equipped before the system's technology may already be obsolete. That's a very diplomatic way of saying it takes them too long and everybody pulls money out of every contract, and that's why we don't get a quality product. Government shutdown or not, it's time for policymakers to free American passengers and businesses from bureaucratic efficiencies and costs by commercializing America's air traffic control. Thank God we don't have Biden or the Dems in. They would give it to China. Converting America's air traffic control into a user-funded system has long-standing bipartisan support dating back to the Clinton administration. In 2018, the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee voted in favor of legislation that would have converted the Air Traffic Control Organization into a user-funded nonprofit corporation. President Donald Trump supported that legislation in his first term, along with even further reforms. So long as the federal government insists on being in the business of air traffic control, and as long as we're mentioning it, look at the great job they've done with the Postal Service and the IRS and Medicare. It's just humming along and efficient. And how about Amtrak? It's a quasi-public corporation. The government dumps tons of tax, millions and millions of dollars in there. And it's still, everybody complains about its service. Of course, they don't have to get better. Delays, cancellations, costs, and safety will all remain in the hands of politicians and bureaucrats. We're toast. Can't even say take the train. Everybody's going to have to drive. All right, take 5. This is in 2 parts. There's a 5-1 and a 5-2. We're making the point. This is about insanity, right? We got another Muslim guy running for the mayor of Minneapolis, so there's going to be a runoff there. He's probably going to win because they're going to put all the muscle behind it. And guess what? Right across the street is St. Paul. The mayor-elect of St. Paul, Minnesota, state rep Keoli Vang Her, admitted earlier this year that she and her family are living illegally in the United States. We have an illegal immigrant who's the mayor-elect of St. Paul. St. Paul's not liking that. Vang Her, who will become St. Paul's first female and first Asian and first illegal mayor, beat out incumbent Melvin Carter, who is also a member of the state's Democratic Farmer Labor Party, which is the name of Minnesota's Democratic Party. Wow, that's so folksy with that farmer thing in it. You'd think they'd be doing good things. No, and again, there's no choice in that crazy place. They're gone. They're done. Vang Her said she had recently discovered that her parents, siblings, and she are illegal aliens because her father defrauded the nation's immigration system. Go, Grandpa. I would like for you to put a face to the name, a face to what it is that we are doing today. I asked my father about how we came to the United States, and I always thought we came here because my grandfather was a colonel in the secret war, right? It's talking about the Vietnam War. I had thought that meant that we were in line to come to the U.S., and my mother told me, my father told me that was not true, even though my parents both worked for a Christian organization and my father actually worked at the U.S. consulate. Guess what? It was only for people who were working for the CIA directly. That's the list that gets out. So what does this guy do? He goes to a relative of his at USAID and he changes the database to put all his family on there. Can't blame the guy. Pol Pot was going to kill all these people as soon as he took power, and he did, if you remember the killing fields. Just acres and acres of skulls. Unbelievable. Man, these communists, they love people. They're wonderful. Are you hearing this, New York? You getting an idea? Mecca West? Right? So they bravely got their people out. Grandpa cheated the system to save his family. Can't blame him a bit. And now, from all that bravery and sacrifice, Vang Her is a lefty loon mayor of St. Paul, mouthing off about being an illegal immigrant. Good job, Gramps. Okay, I don't know how after all that, you end up with a loon. And guess what? It's not over for her. Okay, Kristi Noem's her next door neighbor. Could pay a visit. Now, part two of this. Part two is Stephen Colbert claims he's more conservative than people think. Damn right. Left-wing CBS late-night TV host Stephen Colbert is claiming he is more conservative than people think, despite spending more than 2 decades on TV giving aid to extreme far-left Democrat candidates, officials, and causes, right? This is from Warner Houston at Breitbart. Colbert delivered his claim during an interview with GQ magazine. Yeah, because all the GQ cats, they love Steve. Little Stevie, people perceive me as this sort of lefty figure. I wonder how. I think I'm more conservative than people think. I just happen to be talking about a government in extremis. What an elite term. Touché. Like all extremists, he claimed that what he is commenting on and advocating for is in response to a worst of times styled situation, right? He's talking about TDS. And so what I'm giving you is my reaction video to the day. And my reaction video is like the Scream in a way, but with jokes in a way, he added. Stevie, a word to the wise, dude. You ain't a conservative, but you will be. You will definitely be doing the Scream thing, okay? Because we got leftist Muslims running our cities in this country. You know what that means? We're all conservatives now. And get ready. The fun is going to begin. And you'll get quiet. I know you. All right. What do we got here? We got Take 6, Advanced Reprobate Mind Studies. And wow, this is a large group study. First, really large group study. So here we go. This is actually about BDS, okay? That is the new strain, as Big Pharma would call it, right? Started out as TDS, but now there's Ballroom Derangement Syndrome, and it's affecting thousands. Americans have reacted with shock and dismay to the video showing President Donald Trump's demolition of the East Wing of the White House to build a new ballroom, a project that White House estimates will cost $300 million. Wow, a ballroom. I mean, how white can you get? Trump has sought to reassure Americans, emphasizing that the ballroom would be built with private funds. We've raised over $350 million. It's a beautiful room, he told reporters. Actually, it could be in the Don voice from New York City. It's a beautiful room. It's 1250 minutes. It's going to be the best. The best. We're going to take care of Mondani. All right. The Don. The White House has released a list of 36 donors to the Ballroom project, including, get ready, 21 corporations and 15 individuals and family foundations. The White House has not revealed how much they have each contributed. I cannot stand that. The White House list is also incomplete. I really can't stand that. And CBS News has identified at least 3 additional corporate donors, and there may be others. Asked by CBS News if these private donations raised any conflict of interest, concerns, White House Press Secretary Carolyn Waspy-Levitt replied in a statement, the same critics who are wrongly claiming there are conflicts of interest would complain if taxpayers were footing the bill. That's right. They're going to complain no matter what. But the contributions from the corporate and super rich donors, in fact, constitute massive, inescapable, and irremediable conflicts of interest. Don't you get it? We're saying there's conflicts of interest. This is Public Citizen, right? You'd remember Public Citizen from the wonderful journalism performed by the 4 years of having a senile, old degenerate as president who was not functioning. And what did they have to say about Sleepy Joe's oatmeal party? Nothing. But we're going to listen to them. Public Citizen analyzed the government interests of the disclosed corporate donors, including the 21 corporations released by the White House and 3 identified by CBS News for a total of 24. The analysis finds that 2/3 of the corporate donors, 16 out of 24, have entered into government contracts. Lockheed is the largest of these government contractors, having received $191 billion. Pay up, dudes. In contracts over the last 5 years. Altogether, the corporate donors, wait a minute, 5 years, 4 of that's Biden. Where were you then? Nowhere. The corporate donors benefited from nearly $43 million in contracts last year and $279 billion over the last 5. How dare they? Most of the corporate donors, 14 out of 24, are facing federal enforcement actions and or have had federal enforcement actions suspended by the Trump administration. These include major antitrust actions involving Amazon, lefty, Apple, lefty, Meta, lefty, Microsoft, lefty, NVIDIA, CCP, and T-Mobile, lefty. Labor rights cases involving Amazon, Apple, Caterpillar, Google, Lockheed, and Meta, and SEC matters involving Coinbase and Ripple. How dare they? The companies and wealthy individual donors have invested gargantuan sums in combined lobbying and political contributions, totaling more than $960 million during the last election cycle and $1.6 billion over the last 5 years. How dare they? The companies self-report a stunningly wide array of interests before the federal government, involving everything from taxation to trade policy, battlefield domain awareness to telephone poles, consumer privacy to product liability rules, appropriations to cyberspace, and much more. But they didn't mention anything about the Green New Deal and the windmills and all the solar stuff that's all defunct now. No, I forgot about that. And much more. How dare they? But thank you, Public Citizen. We appreciate the wonderful job you're doing, and you've helped us identify that BDS, Ballroom Derangement Syndrome, is much more significant and spreading way faster than anybody could have ever imagined. Okay, so Glide Slope Thursday is nearly over. Kareem, come in here and say hi to everybody. We're almost finished. Okay? Just come in here and say hello. Okay. Okay. No, I'm not coming in there. I'm still doing a show. She wants to do an ice cream party, right? Because that's what she was doing with Joe. And she wants to celebrate that all the Dems won on Tuesday. And yeah. Trying to make peace with this bitch. What? I'm not talking to you. I did not say that. I said I had an itch. Okay? Look. I did not. This was such a bad idea. I'm not going to make it with this chick. I'm not coming in there. I'm finishing up. It's supposed to be hard. It's ice cream. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is really, really bad. Okay, so look, like us, share us, make comments, whatever. Okay, I don't know how to do this. This is a problem. Okay, pray for me. Okay, I'm going to pray for you, dear God. Please put your hand over this whole situation and please help me out with this lunatic. Thought she was going to increase efficiency. It's not working. Okay, so have a great Thursday. Okay, I'll be in touch. If you want the truth, don't close your eyes.